Your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Matex Heating, Cooling, Weather Garden, a nice chill in the air out here for sure. I'm glad I got the suit jacket on because it is quite cool as temperatures dip down to the mid-50s now, 56 in Champaign. A lot of those 56s showing up here, and it is going to only get cooler as the skies continue to clear tonight. We've had some cloud cover around. That's kept the temperatures up a bit, but by morning, the kids at the bus stop, they're going to need a jacket, possibly. We're talking 46 degrees. We're going to grade that one a B+. We'll improve things through the afternoon with sunshine, A- and mid-60s on the way home. All right, it feels like fall, but is it going to last? We'll look at that and some weekend rain when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
I think they should have been starting on it earlier.
But now one jail could be closed by December because of poor conditions. What possible plans the county came up with.
Plus, it was a final farewell to one boy today, while motorcycles were lining the streets in his memory.
I just got bit by one, yeah.
And he's not alone. How long you'll have to put up with these tiny, biting black bugs.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
I've heard that the jail's in bad shape.
The Edgar County Jail's insurance company is dropping it. The company says the jail failed its inspection in 9 ways, from unfit living conditions to employee misconduct. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. A letter sent to the county cited the jail as ineligible for coverage. Edgar County leaders are now scrambling to come up with a plan, or the jail could have to close in 2 months. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is with us. Jennifer, this is a tight deadline.
Jessica, the company says they will not renew the policy starting on December 1st. Even though the county was notified in August, a plan has still not been established. That gives them only 8 more weeks to figure something out. Excessive strip searches, lack of documentation of use of force, and an unsafe, dirty facility are some of the accusations the insurance company is pinning against the Edgar County Jail. After an inspection, the Illinois County's Risk Management Trust denied the renewal of insurance coverage, which means the jail could get shut down. One man I spoke to has been inside. While he didn't want to go on camera, he had a lot to say about its condition.
It was filthy. There was trash on the floor. Just wasn't clean. You can't keep putting a Band-Aid on something and expect it to work. You have to do something about it.
The Edgar County Board President says they don't have enough money to make physical improvements right now, leaving some people who live nearby, like Ray Kennedy, concerned.
Even though people have to spend time in jail, they don't have to live in trash. That's the way I feel about it. And I think that they need to do something with it.
The county board president says they came up with a few options. One is to shut down the oldest part of the jail, which has been there for 127 years. Then revamp the front to try to get another insurance company to cover it. In the meantime, they would move some of the inmates to other counties. That would cost more money. The last resort would be to close the entire jail. Sheriff Jeff Woods says on average there are about 30 inmates in the jail. He says it would cost about $350,000 per year to house those inmates, but the cost to transport them to other jails is unknown. The sheriff says it could cost millions to completely renovate it. He says there are about 21 people employed at the jail. It's unknown what would happen to their jobs or if they could be transferred if it were to shut down. Kennedy wishes the county had been more proactive to fix the problems so it wouldn't come to this.
I think they should have been starting on it earlier. Worked on keeping it up. That way it wouldn't have come to one big problem all at once.
Because of the insurance company's review, the jail is now being recommended for a full audit review by the Legal and Liability Risk Management Institute. Edgar County has contacted other county jails to work out a deal to house their inmates, but nothing has been established yet. In the control room, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
We have a lot to figure out. All right, Jennifer, thank you. The sheriff also suggested creating a 1% sales tax to help pay for the jail. No movement has been made to implement that idea. That option would not provide money until far later in the future.
We have a follow-up to the fight at Centennial High School. New video shows a student being singled out. He's being treated for a concussion now. His family said he'd been the victim of bullying and they tried to transfer him out of Centennial. They claim the district denied that request. His family said the students who were behind the bullying were the ones attacking him in that video. His family is going to the state's attorney. Champaign police are getting involved as well. Today was the funeral for a 5-year-old boy who was killed in a crash last week. Tyson Mendoza died after the school bus he was riding collided with an SUV near Sullivan. Lori Samples, the driver of the SUV, also died. People wore blue to his visitation and funeral in Mattoon. It was his favorite color. Motorcycles also lined the streets. Friends of the family say Mendoza loved them. That's why this was the perfect way to say goodbye.
Tyson just loved motorcycles. He loved four-wheelers, and Justin's uncle has Harleys and dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and every time he'd go into Troy's garage, it was like, wow, motorcycles, you know, so it was meant to be.
Several businesses and organizations are giving a portion of their sales to the Mendozas. We have a list of those on our website, WCIA.com.
Officials in Clark County still haven't found a missing man with dementia. 66-year-old Charles Egner was last seen walking in a wooded area yesterday in Martinsville. He was wearing a camo shirt, camo pants. Crews have used drones, a plane, dogs, and thermal imaging to look for him. They've suspended the search for tonight and will continue looking again in the morning. If you've seen him, you should call the Clark County Sheriff's Office. After getting the green light 2 weeks ago, a homeless shelter will not be built on Springfield's east side. Helping Hands posted on Facebook it will no longer pursue plans to put a health and housing center on 11th Street. The proposed location drew controversy from east side community leaders and the NAACP. The decision to scrap plans for the shelter comes a day after the mayor held a meeting with shelter stakeholders.
Now to the nation's capital. Republican Congressman Rodney Davis said he doesn't think President Trump committed a crime when he asked foreign governments like Ukraine and China to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden. But under federal election law, it's illegal for anyone to ask for or receive anything of value from a foreign national in connection to a U.S. election. Davis explained why he opposes the impeachment inquiry in an interview with Mark Maxwell on Capitol Connection.
If a foreign government gives the president opposition research, they couldn't make a contribution to his campaign. They could not give cash. That's illegal. That's barred. Is that not an in-kind contribution?
I guess we'll cross that bridge if there's any information ever given. I mean, clearly, you've got to have information to have an in-kind contribution.
For the president to seek it out, that doesn't trouble you?
It's troubling that we're even in this entire process. I'm troubled by what the entire process is happening and what is going on. I'm very troubled by it. I'm very troubled that we're sitting in the midst of impeachment right now.
You can watch more of that exclusive interview this Sunday on Capitol Connection. The full discussion is available at WCIA.com. Governor Pritzker is demanding a state senator step down from one committee while he's under federal investigation. Democrat Martin Sandoval is being investigated for possible bribery and fraud involving state construction work. He's the chairman of the Transportation Committee. The FBI raided Sandoval's offices and home on September 24th. Pritzker's concerned the possible corruption case could cause issues for his $41.5 billion state construction program. He said he wants to assure the public work in that program is legitimate.
New at 10, Schnucks announced today it'll stop selling tobacco products at the end of the year. That includes cigarettes, cigars, cigarillos, chewing tobacco, and stuff. The company says its mission is to nourish people's lives, and tobacco products contradict that. Schnucks will sell its existing inventory. It will also offer double rewards on over-the-counter smoking cessation products on October 15th. The Beckman Institute at the U of I is celebrating its 30th anniversary, and they're getting everyone involved. Besides sharing stories about research and dressing up alma mater, they're also hosting a pop-up escape room. The director says they thought it would be an interesting way to engage the community and show them what the Beckman Institute does and works on. Plus, having an idea of their research could help you beat the puzzle.
And the kinds of questions that will help you escape from the escape room are related to things that go on here at Beckman, some of the research. But you really, I think, don't have to know or be an expert in order to achieve this, in order to escape from the escape room.
The escape room does run again tomorrow, but a very popular idea, there are not any time slots available.
It's a dream one man had since he was a kid. How it's coming true at the State Farm Center this year.
And they're hard to see, but you'll definitely know they're there.
I saw these tiny little bugs, and when they bite them, it really hurt.
We'll tell you how long they'll be sticking around.
And it's been 6 years since the Illini basketball team made it to the NCAA tournament. Why some players are saying this is their year.